Hey now Deadheads, Jerry here again with likely the last video of 2022. And we're here today with a look at what to expect in 2023 with Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir on vinyl. Vinyl releases for 2023. A lot has been announced already, a lot of it has been hinted at, some of it is just expected based off of past year's trends. And so if you are interested in these releases, if you want to see an unboxing, I'll probably be opening up, unboxing, doing shootouts or show and tells, different videos for each of these releases over the course of the next year. And so please subscribe if you are interested in seeing these. I've made a bunch of videos for releases that came out this year. I'm going to keep doing it next year as well. And so if you're interested, hit that little subscribe button and let's build this community together. But first, we've got a release that's coming out in early January, and that is a 50th anniversary reissue. Well, not even a reissue. It's a new mix for Bob Weir's Ace album. This is my original copy. 50 years old now, coming up on 51 years old. They missed the 50th anniversary, the golden anniversary of Ace, by a couple weeks. Early January, we'll be seeing that new mix. Really excited to hear that. It's going to be on beautiful pearl-colored vinyl for those of us who pre-ordered it from the Dead.net store. Really interested in doing a shootout there because it's not really apples to apples. It's a new mix, so it's not just going to be original, flimsy, 50-year-old dusty pressing versus brand new 180-gram, probably digital intermediary pressing, but we do have a new mix that we're thinking about while giving that a listen, or we will be thinking about when we give that a listen in January. And then coming up over the rest of the year, we've got not one but two other 50th anniversaries. People think of 1973, and they think of Wake of the Flood, of course. Love Wake of the Flood. This is one of my favorite studio albums. Of course, we've got American Beauty, we've got Working Man's Dead, but don't sleep on Wake of the Flood. Really great studio album. And then a lot of people forget about the other studio, well, not even a studio album, the other official release that is coming out next year, or having a 50th anniversary next year, and that is History of the Grateful Dead Volume 1, Bear's Choice. And this album is really great because it is part of a live recording set from February 13th and 14th, 1970, I believe. I think those are the dates. Awesome back cover. And they released this 3 years after it was recorded, shortly after Pigpen passed. Ron McKernan passed. And so this was a little bit homage to Pigpen, some great Pigpen on this. But it's not all Pigpen all the time. Just really, really good features of Pigpen on this record. Of course, the rest of that run was released as Dick's Picks Volume 4. And so if you're a fan of Dick's Picks Volume 4, but you want the Pigpen songs that were kind of saved for a separate album, this is that other album. People often forget about this one. The only reason I know that this is getting the 50th anniversary treatment is because Mark Pincus of Rhino Records hinted at it. He was pretty explicit about the other Grateful Dead release that's getting a 50th anniversary this year. He hinted at it while talking to David Gans, Gary Lambert on their halftime show during the Dead & Company live stream last summer. It was during the Chicago dates. I remember I was actually in Chicago for those dates, went back to watch the halftime show. A lot of people mixed reviews on their halftime show or their introductions. I'm quite a fan. Wouldn't miss the Mark Pincus stream, the interview that they had with him. And I'm glad I didn't, because they talked about the upcoming releases or the upcoming 50th anniversaries of Wake of the Flood, as well as History of the Grateful Dead, Volume 1, Bear's Choice. And so those are the guarantees. We've got a few more. If you read the Grateful Dead Almanac for this year, I'm sure most people just skimmed it, but if you really, read through it with a fine-tooth comb, you'll see that they mentioned not one but two Dave's Picks releases pressed on vinyl this year. Now you'll remember that in 2022, this year, they released Dave's Picks Volume 1 on vinyl, that Richmond, Virginia show. I don't think that they're going in order for these. I think they're going to do similar to the Brookvale and the Real Gone Dick's Picks reissues. I suspect they're going to hop all over the place. I really want Dave's Picks Volume 10, that 1969 Los Angeles show, famous alligator on the cover and alligator on the CDs as well, or hopefully this time on vinyl. Would love to get that as a vinyl release. I love those 60s Dead recordings. Would love to get Dave's Picks 10, and then who knows what the next one will be, what the other release of 2023 will be of Dave's Picks on vinyl. Wouldn't hate 37 as a Virginia boy. I grew up in Virginia. Would not hate that. Would be quite a release, but I have a feeling that no matter what year it is, which Dave's Picks release it is, I'll end up picking it up and doing the unboxing on this channel as well. And then I think we've got a couple others. We've got actually already announced, Vinyl Me Please is doing Anthem of the Sun, all analog, 180 gram on some sort of sunburst, orange burst vinyl. This is, of course, a follow-up to this year. They came out with the 180 gram all analog in the dark repressing. Interesting that they are kind of filling in the gaps of the catalog that they didn't include in their anthology box set. Really great anthology box set. I wish I would have picked it up. It's the only place to get, well, I think they did an original pressing. I think they did an original pressing of Without a Net on vinyl. Super impossible to get your hands on. They also included that in the Vinyl Me Please Grateful Dead anthology box set from a few years back. I think a lot of people picked up that box set just so that they could get Without a Net on vinyl. I almost did. But I think they're filling in the gaps of other studio or kind of main releases from the Grateful Dead catalog, all analog 180 gram things that weren't included in that catalog or in that anthology set. Doubtful that they'll do any 50th anniversary releases as part of the Vinyl Me Please release series, but who knows what else we'll get. Maybe we'll get Built to Last on vinyl this year. Maybe we'll get, who knows, Steal Your Face on vinyl from Vinyl Me Please. Curious how the reception would be for that. I think when it originally came out, a few people called it Steal Your Money because they were a bit disappointed in that release originally. But curious what a Vinyl Me Please release of Steal Your Face would look like. Could be interesting. Doubtful that they'll pick that one, but we'll see where Vinyl Me Please takes their releases in 2023 and moving forward. Next up, we've got, I'm looking down at my notes, the probablys of things that we'll probably get next year on vinyl. First, I'm going to say Fillmore West, March 2nd, 1969. Now, we've gotten the first 3 shows of the complete Fillmore West 1969 box set that came out on CD a few years ago. We've gotten that on vinyl over the past few years via record store day releases. They did the Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right promotion. I think that was the last one, 3/1/69, that got released as. And so I suspect they'll finish the set next year. So we'll probably get some more Fillmore West 1969 on vinyl, the 4th and final installment of that complete run. Looking forward to that. I suspect they might do that as a record store day release, either the main record store day, the drops that they do as the second record store day, or Black Friday of next year. I suspect they'll do that. And on that note of record store day releases, this year we had not one but 2 individual shows from the Europe 72 run put out as record store day releases. The second being record store day Black Friday at the Wembley Empire Pool. I just did an unboxing video of that a couple weeks ago. We got that in, of course, in addition to the Lyceum box set that came out this year in 2022. I suspect we get one more this year. I bet that they keep doing at least one a year until they finish the full run of Europe 72 box sets on vinyl. So I suspect one more next year because there's a lot of other stuff that is really serious contenders for record store day releases next year. The next, of course, being, I suspect that we see Madison Square Garden, March 9th, 1981. And that was the breakout from this year's big CD box set, from the Madison Square Garden box set. They broke out that as a individual CD release, as well as putting it on streaming services. Typically, we get that breakout CD on vinyl as well. We saw that in the St. Louis Fox box, the last year's big CD box set. They released one of the shows from, I think it was December, I think it was 71. I remember it had a great Run Rudolph Run on it. And so I was surprised that we didn't get that this year as part of that release suite from, they usually do a big package. They do the t-shirts, they do the tchotchkes, they do the CDs, and they usually do a breakout vinyl. I'm surprised that they didn't do that this year. I suspect that we might see it next year. Additionally, next year we're going to get another CD box set because we get one every year, usually in the fall. I'm not quite sure what the 2023 box set is going to be. I suspect that with this release suite, like I said, we didn't get one last year, or this year rather, in 2022. But I bet the CD release, the CD box set release for next year, comes with a vinyl bust out or breakout show rather. Suspect that we'll see that. And then finally, I mentioned this already, but probably some more Vinyl Me Please coming out as well next year, studio albums or those those original live albums, not the 50th anniversary. I'm sure they'll save that for the Dead.net store and not give that up to Vinyl Me Please. And then I've got some speculation. So that I've given you the definitely, I've given you the probably that we'll get next year, but the speculation of what I think hasn't been announced yet. Don't hold me to this, but I have just a feeling in my gut. A few of these releases that we might see next year. The first is the Spring 1990 box set reissue, the So Glad You Made It compilation box set on vinyl. This has been rumored for quite a few months now. I think almost 6 months now. Release dates keep popping up and then getting pushed back. A few places are saying now February of next year that they'll have another pressing. I think that's Friday Music put that out. So likely, I kind of think that we're still going to see that. I still think that we're going to see another run of that Spring 1990 So Glad You Made It vinyl box set. I suspect we'll also see a couple Jerry Garcia releases next year. This is, of course, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of the Keystone Berkeley shows with Merle Saunders. So I suspect that we might see a 50th anniversary release of that, or at least a repressing of either the smaller compilation or the big box set, just because it's the 50th anniversary, and I suspect we will see some either pure Jerry Garcia live or that show, or sorry, that run released on vinyl next year. Finally, just about every year now, we've been getting a Real Gone Dick's Picks reissue. No idea if they're going to keep that up next year. I suspect that they will. A lot of really good options for Dick's Picks to come out on vinyl. Of course, Brookvale did 1 through 8 on vinyl. Did they do 7? I can't remember if they did 7, but they definitely did 1 through 6. They definitely did Dick's Picks 8. Awesome release. Wish I had that in my collection. Unfortunately, I have to listen to the digital version. I usually stream that one. I've gotten a lot of really good Dick's Picks releases from the Real Gone reissue series. I'm quite fond of 36 and 34. Those are two of my favorites. My favorite Truckin' is on Dick's Picks 34. I don't think that Truckin' gets a lot of love. If I remember correctly, it's not too high up on Heady version, but I love the Truckin' from Dick's Picks 34. So if you haven't listened to that recently, go back and give that a listen. I just think it's phenomenal. It's, to me, one of the best versions of one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs. And so that's it for the releases that we are anticipating for next year from the Grateful Dead, be it Dick's Picks, Dave's Picks, reissues, 50th anniversaries, new stuff from the vaults. We're going to have a lot of Dead releases next year. Probably one of the busiest years for Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir releases. We're going to have a lot next year. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be a great year for people who love listening to the Grateful Dead on vinyl, like me. So really looking forward to that. If you want to see me, open up these these box sets, do a little unboxing, show and tells, sometimes shootouts. If I've got, originals to compare them to, I've got a few of these originals for the 50th anniversary releases. Make sure that you subscribe. Like I said, really trying to build this community of Deadheads and vinyl lovers here on YouTube. And so thank you for watching this video, and have a wonderful new year and a great 2023. Peace.